everyone, this is Damien, and today's video is going to be a video based on so many requests regarding Falcon BMS graphics, okay, and how my Falcon BMS looks this good. And I have, these last months I've been non-stop receiving comments about people being like, my Falcon BMS does not look like yours, and what do you do with the graphics, and what's going on, and how can I make Falcon BMS look better just like yours, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go down to all the details that I personally manipulate, let's say, or use to enhance the visual experience of Falcon BMS and also the flight experience, if you ask me, because if it looks better, it gets you into flying something way more realistic, from a visual perspective. So let's just cut to the chase. First things first, I want to go for a quick rundown of my computer. What do I use? What's my system look like? Okay, so I'm running on Windows 11 Pro, as you can see right here. Whatever that means. My CPU is a pretty good one. It's Intel Core i7 14700K. It's a pretty good one. 20 cores actually. I'm using a 64 gigabyte DDR5 RAM, which is again pretty cool. My motherboard, whatever, yeah, it's a pretty good one too. Now for the graphics card, I'm using an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 Super, which is, as you can tell, a pretty good solid graphics card. It really enhances my visual experience when it comes down to Falcon BMS. But the most important thing, if you ask me, and all these years being a gamer and a simmer, I've been using somewhat good monitors, but honestly, this is what really, for me, for my taste, makes the whole difference, and it's my monitor. A lot of people ask me how you get these graphics. Guys, you have to understand this. I'm running on a 4K resolution. A lot of people not flying in 4K, flying 2K or even 1080p, which is alright. If it's, I understand that having a powerful computer and the screen's not very cheap, and it takes some investment money-wise. But in my case, I totally don't regret spending about 800 euro purchasing this fantastic monitor, which is a Samsung QLED, essentially Q90. Runs at 4K at 144 refresh rate hertz. Okay, this is fantastic, and the reason why it's fantastic is not only because it's 4K at 144 hertz, and of course the Samsung display, which is a Neo QLED and it looks fantastic, but it's also because it supports a lot of gaming filters. All right, that's very important. Some people need to understand this. When you have a monitor that supports gaming and you have the ability to utilize gaming filters, means that it gives you perfect FPS, perfect refresh rate, and perfect colors and contrast. You have to understand that. Now, big question. Many people ask me, yeah, but do these filters pass through your editing? So when you open up the Adobe Premiere and you edit your filmed content, by the way, I am filming my content using NVIDIA shadow play. Okay, that's very easy. You just have to use the NVIDIA app, for those who don't know, and then it has a tool where you just press the hotkey. In my case, it's Alt and F9 plus F9, and then starts record the whole screen, right? And that's how I get my content done. Yeah, the thing is, when you record your screen, it does not, you really need to pay attention to this. When you record your screen, it does not record what you see when it comes down to the Samsung filters. So so my monitor uses fantastic filters. If I could just take a camera like my phone, right, and video record what I actually see through my screen, this is fantastic. Now the problem is, so when I record my stuff and I put it in the Adobe Premiere, inside the Adobe Premiere, there is no Samsung monitor filtering with perfect contrast and whatever. So what I do, because I have a very flat, let's say, recorded video, what I do is that I apply a very subtle filtering through Adobe Premiere that allows me to simulate or come as close as possible to the contrast and color grading that my Samsung provides, my Samsung monitor provides. Okay, it's like something like shaders, but not just shaders from Falcon BMS. It's a little bit of an extra essentially contrast manipulation, and a little bit, just a tiny bit of color grading. It gives us a little bit more vibrant colors. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. Okay, that a little bit of enhancement occurs because of my monitor, and I'm just simulating this by adding a little filter through Adobe Premiere while editing and exporting my videos. Now, most of them are defaulted, guys. I have not really messed up a lot of with these. I'm just using, you know, maxed out graphics, whatever that means. And most of them, as you can see right here, I'm leaving the window open so you can take a look or pause the video and see whatever you want. But most of them are the default ones. If I changed something, I don't even remember, honestly. So you just need to really, it comes down to your computer and to your personal taste. You can always play around with the values and you know, choose whatever you guys want. When it comes down to Falcon BMS modding, everything you need to know, it's going to be inside Falcon BMS forums. So okay, so this is the initial page you get to see when you go to the Falcon BMS forums, and then this is where you need to go. Community mods. I've actually you know, answered this quite a few times in my comments in many videos of mine, with people asking me where'd you get to find these mods. This is where you get to find the Falcon BMS mods. This thread named Community Mods and Tools. So you go in. Number one, if you scroll down a little bit, just a little bit, there you go. This guy, Sheriff, by the way. Shout out to Sheriff. You've done a great job. All types of F-16's cockpit and sound files. But now, you have to notice some of this content, it's kind of, you know, not updated. But it does not mean that it doesn't work. Now, you have to, as you can see here, if you go in, there you go. So a lot of people ask me, how do you get to have this dark cockpit looking, you know, colors? You see this guy, he did a great job into essentially changing the colors and making the cockpits look darker and stuff. It looks amazing. And also, if you go to the download link right here, you get to have I think you get to have some sounds as well. And there you go. See, F-16 sounds, work in progress version 3. So I've been using this quite a lot in my videos, where people ask me, how do you have these sounds? Is it a sound mode? This is the sound mode I've been using for the most part. I have to warn you, number one, you have to back up your original files. Number two, the default settings, the sound volumes or whatnot that comes with this might not be your preference, because some of them are too loud, so you have to play around. There's when you download this file, there's inside some as a JPG photo. Explains some of the settings, the default ones, but I recommend you just play around a little bit with them and figure out what you like or not, or just, you know, you can always go with the default Falcon BMS sounds. If that's okay with you, that's what you like. So that's number one. Number two, up here says skins and textures. If you click this and somewhere here, there you go. This guy made F-16C Viper Block 50 cockpit, dirty and photorealistic cockpit. This is one of my favorite ones. Shout out to this guy. Shout out to this guy. What's his name? Again, sorry with the names. I'm not Burak Tunanhan. I'm not sure if I say this correctly, but whatever. This guy done an amazing job. So as you can see, what this guy did right here. As you can see, this is the Falcon. This is the F-16 Block 50 cockpit, and what I like about it, not only it looks great and stuff, but, you know, a little rusty and a little dirty, which looks incredible and very realistic, but also adds this beautiful canopy reflections, which I love, especially in a day flight. It looks amazing. When you fly at night, it can be a little bit annoying, because kind of when you're using the NVG, the night vision goggles, it kind of looks funny, but maybe a little bit too much. I don't know if that's the case, but when you fly on a daylight, whatever, it looks incredible. You should definitely give it a shot. This is where you get it. Drive Google, there you got the file. Easy to install. You just copy paste the DTS files or whatever files are inside the Falcon BMS. I think there's, you should check all the instructions. I'm not going to go down through all the process. Okay, when it comes down to the reshade, you're going to have to make a little bit of searching in here. I do not remember which thread was, the appropriate one for the reshading. You have to look a little more through the threads, or even Google Falcon BMS reshade, and then you will probably find something. I don't even remember if I have downloaded. I need to let you know that after update 4, 5, and now it's 6, I think the F-16 cockpits look a lot better anyway, so you don't really need to do a lot of stuff. So let's go straight ahead. I want to show you something regarding camera manipulation. All right, a few things regarding graphics when you're in cockpit. Number one, if you want to have realistic graphics inside your cockpit, given you've done all the previous steps, let me lower the volume for this guy. So we're in cockpit. Number one, what I suggest doing first is make sure you have a very well truck IR setup, okay? Because as you can see here, my head moves. It's like a very sensitive enough that makes the head movement very realistic. So if I can move forward or backwards, up or down, if I tilt my head to the left and to the right, it creates a nice smooth movement, which it's essential when it comes down to having a nice looking head-free movement. That's number one. Number two, all right, I'm not sure if this applies for everyone, because I have changed the keybinds for the cameras, and it's been a while. I've been using the same keybinds for a little while, so I don't know what the defaults are. But what I do is, if you click the middle mouse roller, okay, the roller, if you click it inside and then you push your mouse forward or backwards, this is what happens, okay? You have to understand that. I'm just holding my middle mouse roller in as a button. I'm just keep pressing it inside, and then by moving back and forth, this is what happens. This is really important, because what I do is like I move my head that way back and forth to a desired position. Now, I have already binded the FOV zoom in a roller, and I zoom in and out my FOV. See, if I go all the way back, I have a 200 FOV. I'll explain pretty soon how to get the FOV numbers correct. So this is a 200 FOV. So if I go all the way back, as you can see, I have a lot, and I have a very wide field of view, which feels very nice. But if you go too far and then you tilt your head, see how the screen kind of stretches out. Me personally, I don't like this. It just doesn't feel, I don't know. What I do is, and then if you go very close, it becomes more of a VR thing. But then you have very limited, kind of vision. There's no peripheral vision, no wide view. So I believe that, the solution is somewhere in the middle, somewhere here. And then look, if I double click the middle mouse, it resets to the default position. Here's what's good about it. If you go all the way back and then zoom a little bit, it gives you this nice perspective where you can see the HUD, the entire cockpit, and also the pilot's legs, which kind of gives this immersion that you are sitting inside the jet. At least that's how I feel. I feel like this is my legs, believe it or not. Too bad there are no arms in there, but whatever. So I'm just sitting here. It feels nice. It gives a nice wide, long kind of field of view. I see most of my cockpit right here, everything I need to see, lots of field of view. And I also need to mention that my monitor is 43 inches, so there's a lot of room for me around to, you know, I have good portion of screen in front of me to actually distinguish all these small numbers. I'm not sure if this could work on a smaller monitor, but it works with mine. And then of course, look, if I just go a little further and then pull back the FOV, again, we have this nice realistic field of view. Of course, you see I'm tilting my head just like a real pilot would do. When you're pulling G's to the right, you want to tilt your head to the left. When you're turning to the left, you want to tilt your head to the right. Real quickly, what I want to talk about too is how do you get to change the FOV settings. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is you go to the Falcon BMS folder real quickly. So you go to Falcon BMS. All right, you go to user, you go to configuration, then you go all the way to Falcon BMS. Falcon BMS. So you go here. It opens up the Falcon BMS.cfg.config file. All right, there you go. And all you need to do here is to search for the FOV. That's the default FOV. You can put whatever you want. I have it on 150. It's a little too far away, but whatever. It's just a default. We don't care about that as much. What we care about, it's the it's got to be somewhere here. I'll find it. I'll find it. I'll find you. There you go. There you go. This is the most important thing when it comes to cameras, guys. Maximum FOV and minimum FOV. This is how close you can get zooming in, and this is the furthest you can go zooming out when it comes down to FOV, field of view. This is 300, allows me to have a nice wide view, and this is a very narrow zoomed in FOV, and I have binded this into a roller movement. I know not everyone has it, but if you have a roller available from your HOTAS or ICP, maybe, I don't know, you can just bind it into a smooth moving roller, so you can roll up and roll down very smoothly and create this nice smooth in and out FOV zoom in zoom out effect. So that's how it works. That's what I do. I hope it helps. Let me know down below in the comments section if that was helpful, or if there's anything more that you would like to see in terms of graphics or whatnot. I believe I covered most of it. Feel free to message me and ask for more questions if you need. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and you know, support my content both on Instagram and YouTube, TikTok as well. Yeah, more content is on the way for sure. That's for sure. So stay tuned, and again, thank you all. See you soon.